Hi Kiwi! Alright, we are back at another episode of Pokemon Shining Pearl, and today we are going to conquer the 5th gym and not defeat Fantasia, but defeat Fantina. I totally botched her name in the last episode and I realized, oopsie. Well, let's go ahead and head right in. We're going to be leading with Captain Squawk. Oh no, basic math. What is 3 plus 5 plus 7? Answer left 2, up 16, right 15. Okay, so hear me out. I know how to do basic math. This is 8 plus 7, which is 15. But if I choose the incorrect door, I think I fight trainer battles, and I do have a rule that I have to fight all the trainers in a gym. So I'm gonna just be the dumbest trainer. Is it 2? I think it might be 2. Oh. Well, the trainer I'm fighting is 2.
Don't you have a Pokétch, or did you just screw up deliberately?
Both, actually. So, in the last episode, we left off kind of me rambling about open world games and how I kind of have mixed opinions about them, and it ultimately boils down to that I kind of burn out on them very quickly, and there feels like in a lot of open world games, the biggest issue I have is that there are a lot of collectibles, and on paper you think that would be a great thing, but I have a compulsive completionism to how I like to play a lot of the games that I imbibe on. And the problem extends with open world games that often leads me down paths of, well, I'm going to explore every nook and cranny, find every collectible, and then so much time has passed that I've kind of forgotten where I was in the game's story. And sometimes to the point of like, I've completely disconnected from the emotional throughputs and relevance of certain characters, and it really takes me out of the part of the game that I tend to value the most. The things I value the most are going to be the gameplay loop, the characters, and the overarching story. And when 2 of those 3 things kind of fall to the wayside when I'm exploring, especially if I'm exploring for too long,
Wah, I was done in.
it takes away from it, a lot of it. And that's why I find case examples like Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring so interesting.
You threw the quiz so you'd get to battle with me, right?
Because, yeah, they have collectibles left and right, but they have a lot of more interesting rewards, like just finding a weapon or spell that makes things immensely easier or more nuanced in the case of Elden Ring. Like, you can find some pretty killer spells, some pretty killer upgrades that can let you delve into very creative and really out there sort of builds. And in the case of Breath of the Wild, they have the shrines. The shrines were a huge reward for exploring because, yeah, at the end of the day, they are a thing to check off on a list, but every one of them had at least a semi-interesting, if not really interesting, puzzle or combat challenge to engage in.
Don't you know how to take it easy or anything? Geesh.
And for I don't know, like I would actually have to say overall, I would say that Breath of the Wild was probably my first ever open world game that I actually played. I can't really think of any truly open world games prior to that. Like, there are games that had some degree of, like, you can explore, like Chrono Trigger and you know, like the RPG type games that have a big world map. But the thing about it is those aren't really truly open world games. At the end of the day, there is a linear narrative for the most part. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that about Chrono Trigger of all games, but
I've been to all sorts of places. That means I know tons of things.
It's Chrono Trigger is not a game I've actually finished, but I really do want to go back to it when I find my copy of the game and find a DS that works. Unfortunately, my DS has a lot of breaks in it. Its battery life is basically, it needs to be plugged into a wall to function, and it's missing a joystick because I played so much Smash that the thumb pad for the joystick just broke, so there's only the little stick underneath that remains. It's usable, but it's like using the N64 controller for too long. I start getting blisters on my thumb from overuse. I digress. The point I'm trying to make is open world games, I think they can be done well and be done really well. But even Breath of the Wild and even Elden Ring, like, I start to kind of burn out. I'm like, these are all the places I want to check off before I go down the main story path, and it can feel gargantuan, overwhelming, and sometimes a little bit, I don't think boring is the right word. I think it's just I burn out. And so maybe the best way for me to properly enjoy an open world game is to either say, okay, I am going to focus on the story path and nothing else, or just take it in bits and pieces and accept that I'm gonna have to put the characters and the story kind of on the back burner for most of the game, and maybe that's not the point of the game. I mean, I would argue that it is. I would definitely argue that a major portion of the game should be its character and stories if it's that sort of game. I think the game that I played most recently that really makes me think about this is Horizon Zero Dawn. I really like the story and the ideas of that game.
Yeah, whatever. You can battle too.
It was, and I liked the combat. I really enjoyed kind of engaging with the different combat systems between melee, which I kind of spec'd mostly into because I figured out how to kind of make melee pretty busted, but also effectively with ranging too.
I'm not afraid of picnicking anywhere, so I've learned all sorts of things.
But that's the thing. I kind of got distracted by so many side quests, so many little bits on the map that I'm like, I want to go collect that and add it to my arsenal that will eventually unlock something really nifty later on in the game. And I had been playing that game with Kiwi. She was watching me play it, much like how these recordings have kind of served this function. She likes to watch me play games. I like to watch her play games. We often take turns with that. But she was watching me play, and she kind of just like couldn't keep. Neither of us really could keep track of all the characters, and we kind of. I forget why I did so many of the side quests, because usually after a while I just feel done with them, but I just kept spamming all the side quests. I think I beat all the side quests in that game. Call it a drive for completionism, if nothing else. But it ultimately just kind of took away from the overarching story because the chapters just felt further and further apart, and it just felt like the story fell off a little bit because there was just so much padding in between plot arcs, and that's entirely my fault. I could have just focused on the story, and I think, like I said, that's probably how I have to approach open world games. Stop squandering the valuable time and limited resources I have to play a game and focus on the part that I care about most.
Your toughness, it's something new to me.
But conversely, that does lock you out of a lot of things that often are kind of necessary to fully progress later in the game. Or maybe not progress, but it makes the game much more harder than I feel like the devs intended sometimes. Not with every game, mind you, but it is unfortunately adding a level of difficulty that isn't entirely necessary. Or could be avoided if you played the game, I think, how it was more intended. I study subjects like Pokemon and history, you know, all the important things. And, I mean, Elden Ring, now let me make this clear, I did not play a lot of Elden Ring, and I'm definitely going to play it eventually, probably on the channel at some point, honestly. But the bits that I did, the reward is the boss fights. You go to a FromSoft game to play the boss fights. Have those big action spectacle cinematic type fights, like not actual cutscene cinematic, just like they are an action spectacle kind of fight, and you overcome that fight with either a copious amount of cheese or a copious amount of skill, practice, and dedication to beating a challenge. The latter of which both Kiwi and I tend to favor, but I can't say I don't enjoy seeing people absolutely cheese these bosses on YouTube sometimes. Those videos are quite funny. Oh, what in the... I didn't study enough. But it is what it is, ultimately. I think I will find enjoyment in those games. I just have to kind of tailor the experience to how I prefer playing games.
I've probably studied more about Pokemon than you.
Why does the ghost-type gym leader have nothing but school children and campers as her defenders, her quote-unquote defenders, her gym trainers? And her gym challenge is just doing math. Like, I don't know what they were... Did they just run out of ideas for this gym? I like the stained glass design in the back. That's cool. I imagine that's probably the shape of her badge, if I had to guess. I forget. Not that I really remember anything other than the shape of the original gym badges, but still. I'm just trying to conserve my bite PP a little bit to make sure that I have enough to take down Fantina, but at the rate we're going, I think I only need 3 PP for that, so it's probably fine. Oh, I need to remember, I keep forgetting about Aftermath. That's gonna cost us a lot. And anyway, So Breath of the Wild, I still hold to this day as one of my favorite games of all time, which is funny because I have made it clear that I'm also not the biggest enthusiast when it comes to the genre of open world games. But I don't know, I never felt bored playing that game. I mean, I clocked 10 to 15 hours a day when it first came out, and I had winter break, and I think I was in grade school at the time, if not undergrad, where, you know, free time is all you have.
Oh, I feel bad. I feel bad that I'm so angry.
I think we're gonna go ahead and heal up Luxray. We took a lot of we're only taking damage from Pokemon that have an ability that if you hit them with a physical move and knock them out, you take a lot of damage. Kind of sad, but it is the nature of where we are in this playthrough at this point. We are so far over leveled. I think the leftmost door was the correct door, I forget. It's been a while since I've looked at this. There we go. Okay, I assume 3 waves of gym challenges is gonna be... Oh, we got one more door apparently. The first room's answer was 15. I guess we have one more wave of trainers. Hey, this is good experience fodder, and like I've always said, we've got our dungeon rules going.
Seriously, kid, why don't you answer the quiz properly? You could get to the gym leader without a problem, wasted my time. Now I gotta knock you around a bit.
This guy clearly does not want to be here. Appreciate that she finally has someone other than school children, though. But I wonder if he's like the one legit trainer, and the others are all still children. And he's just like, I hate this, but I'm being paid. It's a job, it's a living, I gotta do it. All these guys have are Drifloon and Ghastly, then the occasional Haunter. Hopefully Fantina has some more fun. I know she has a Miss Magius that gave me a lot of trouble back in the original Gen 4. I didn't do any Nuzlocke challenges back in the day. I think my first ever Nuzlocke was Sun and Moon, actually, and I had so much fun with that. I almost lost in the Elite Four. I had a Poliwhirl clutch it out. And the Poliwhirl was kind of a last-minute addition because I think I lost a Pokemon right on Victory Road or something. So, I don't know. Nuzlocke's, especially for a game like this that has just got such a low difficulty curve, I may as well imbibe on what difficulty modifiers I can make for myself, but maybe I'm going to have to force myself to switch some Pokemon out for lower level mons, just so that I have like some sort of challenge. We have our rock steady team, if you will. Maybe that's what I'll do. After this gym, I'll switch out our team a little bit, and I will commit to using some lower level Pokemon that we caught in the wild that are still at least sort of on level with what we're dealing with. And that way, if they die, there's no harm, no foul. I can still maintain the challenge and have my main team when I want to. Oh, would you look at you? You've got an actual threat. A shame about the fact that I'm still 12 levels above it and have Bite. Which may one-shot Gengar could survive this, but no, we're too strong. We're just too strong to handle. Even if you're an ace trainer, you don't stand a chance. So, I'm trying to think, what other open world games have I really played? There really aren't that many. Horizon Zero Dawn, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Elden Ring. Those are probably the main ones, honestly.
I kinda deserved that, didn't I? I gotta stop mouthing off like that.
Well, I mean, I think Red Dead did... Oh, hey, we're finally having Ponyta evolve. Exciting. All right, Celestabetha is evolving. Congratulations, Kiwi. I'm going to have another one of the Pokemon that you requested on our team. One day, when you eventually pick up your Pokemon Diamond version and trade with me, we'll go ahead and get ourselves a Gengar and a Golem. Golem and... Basically, the Pokemon Kiwi requested that be part of the team if they can be. Golem, Rapidash, Gyarados, and Tentacruel. And Tentacruel will eventually make it on this team, especially if we end up losing Manny the Dude Buster. We'll definitely end up using Tentacruel. I don't think we'll have trouble finding a Tentacool just surfing around later on in the story.
Rapidash, it has astounding acceleration. From a standstill, it can reach top speed within 10 steps.
That sounds incredible. Smart Strike. I'm not actually familiar with that move. What is that? Smart Strike is a Steel-type move. The user stabs the target with a sharp horn and never misses. Okay, so they made a Steel-type Shockwave move. I think we'll go ahead and replace either Flame Charge? Yeah, we're either going to replace Flame Charge or Stomp with that, I think. We've got Flame Wheel, and I can't keep them straight. I don't think I need the speed boost. Rapidash is fast enough as it is. Yeah, let's go ahead and toss out Flame Charge and take on Smart Strike. That's nice. That's some nice type coverage, but does Ponyta actually benefit too much from that? What are we weak against? We're weak against Ground, Water, Rock. I guess Steel-type moves are super effective against Rock, right? So that's some type coverage, but it doesn't actually offer that much coverage after all. So it's nice for move pool diversity, but that's about the extent of it.
Oh, you want to battle me? Okay, then I'll do my... Oh, you want to battle me? Okay, then I'll do the best I can.
Yeah, I guess in terms, at least we have a non-fire type move because 3 of our 4 slots were fire types. So definitely an improvement, not a landmark achievement, but an improvement nonetheless. Anywho, so I don't know. Red Dead Redemption is a game series that I have looked at because I have heard it has phenomenal storytelling, and so maybe that's what I'm going to. Maybe that is very likely going to be my next open world game. Unless Black Myth Wukong is an open world, which I do not think it is. That's definitely on my list, but like the major games that I'm most interested in playing at this point, not necessarily on the channel, but overall just playing the game, are going to be Nine Souls, Black Myth Wukong, maybe Elden Ring again, if I feel it, but I feel like I might play Black Myth Wukong first. One of the Persona games I would probably enjoy just casually playing, probably Persona 5 at this point, Persona 5 Royal specifically. Ooh, hey, look, a Driftblim. Alright, this is going to be a good litmus test. Actually, you're a flying type. I can probably take you out with Spark and Save Bite for the other ghost types. Let's do that. The question is, do I one-shot you here? I do. Okay, cool. And you're going to hit me with Aftermath, right? You have Aftermath? It seems that we don't. I'm not holding my breath. Okay, wow. I guess it had the other one, which I forget what its other ability is. It was Aftermath, and then... Nah, I got nothing.
I squeezed out all my power. You're one impressive challenger.
Oh well. But yeah, I think one day I will probably indulge in Red Dead Redemption. One game that I am thinking about playing for the channel, I had planned it for like a Halloween special, but I just didn't have the time, is Signalis. Kiwi has specifically requested that game, so I think that's a reasonable chance of happening on this channel at some point. I'm gonna go ahead and do my usual save just out of principle. Obviously, if we lose a Pokemon, we lose a Pokemon. There's no coming back from this, but I have a force of habit save before scary things sort of thing. All right, now if you don't remember Kiwi, I actually had to check myself. I went back to the old episode of Heart Home is the Heart Home, or Heart Home is where the Heart Home is. It was such a dumb title, and yet somehow it was one of my best performing Pokemon episodes. I don't understand why. I laughed at that title. I'm like, this is really stupid. I don't care. Let's make it the title. But I went back to that episode because I needed to remember what Fantina's voice was. And, well, I certainly chose a voice for her, didn't I?
Oh, finally, you have arrived. Since I came to this region, I always try to learn new things. They hold contest shows in this city. I say to myself, Enfin, I will excel. That is why I dress this way. It's just une performance.
This is the worst voice to do my terrible ability to read French.
Also, I study Pokémon very much. I have come to be a gym leader. And, so it shall be that you challenge me, but I shall win. That is what a gym leader does, none.
Unfortunately, you haven't seen the other 4, and after you, there will be a more likely chance than not that the gym leaders lose. I appreciate the little X on her hip because that is the little symbol on Driftblim, isn't it? I think so. Let me double check. Yeah, she's got a Driftblim as a pin. I think that's actually a really cute design choice for her. Obviously, her design was likely created well before this game came out. I mean, 4 generations ago, pretty much. But this is the one downside to my current situation is she's leading with Driplim, which probably has Aftermath. When I pop that balloon, I'm gonna be losing 25% of my HP. That's the one quote-unquote scary part of this situation. But I have a reasonable confidence that Captain Squawk can manage most of what she throws at us. We are, as I've alluded to multiple times, and I mean, it's not that hard to see, we are pretty darn over-leveled, and we already proved that we can one-shot Gengar with Bite. This is level 34 Gengar, so the gap is closing, slowly but steadily. Oh, she is faster than us. This is gonna hurt a little bit. Don't poison us, please. Okay, whew. Oh, look at you having a dark damage reducing berry, I think. Yeah, okay. That is actually kind of scary. Oh. Okay, this is all kind of scary. So the Kolba berry reduced so there are, Gen 4 introduced an interesting design choice. I don't actually have a good way of healing this. Oh, hyper potions, thank goodness. Okay, this will fully heal Captain Squawk, perfect. So in Gen 4 Kiwi, they introduced a set of held item berries. And those berries, their effect was that they would Reduce the damage of one super effective move. I don't actually think this is going to end well for us. Wait, I could switch into Manny the Dude Buster. The problem is if Gengar has any sort of like Mega Drain, Giga Drain, Energy Ball sort of move, we lose Manny the Dude Buster here. So I have two options. Okay, I have a plan. I'm gonna Volt Switch. That way we deal damage but don't have to tank a hit. And if I get poisoned by Sludge Bomb, as long as Sludge Bomb doesn't crit, I think we're okay. That, on the other hand, will force us to switch out no matter what. So if our attack doesn't get through, we have to switch per our house rules on Nuzlocke. Confusion forces a switch. At least it doesn't have Thunder Wave. That would have been even more debilitating. All right, so we'll take the Volt Switch here. Oh, thank goodness it knocks out the Gengar. Okay, we are fine now. That was the closest to death we have ever been in the last maybe like almost 10 episodes now, I have to say. Whew, all right, so then, oh, Quipplecore wants to learn Earthquake. That is beautiful. All right, do I give up Bulldoze? I think I do. Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna make a Pokemon slower than Graveler, even if we knock its speed down with Bulldoze, let's be honest. All right, Earthquake, one of the best ground-type moves in the game, also known as a spread move, hits every Pokemon on the field, including your own when you're in a double battle. Our last Pokemon is Mismagius. Mismagius almost certainly has Energy Ball. I could send out Manny the Dude Buster, but I think that's a little scary. So who has our highest special defense at this point? Because Manny the Dude Buster is kind of potentially not our best option. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch out to Pine Tree and use U-Turn. That'll let us switch into Captain Squawk safely, potentially. Because she won't use a Ghost-type move, so she won't get the stab bonus.
Oh,
Oh heavens, what is this? My final Pokemon?
All right, Mismagius, level 36, extremely high speed and special attack. This is where things get a little scary. Let's go ahead and use U-Turn. It won't do that much damage, but it will let us kind of potentially switch into something safer. Plus, if it chooses to use an electric-type move, we'll check that move and have it severely reduced by Luxray's resistance to electric-type moves. If it chose to use Shadow Ball by some miracle of a situation, we probably lose Captain Squawk here, but I do believe he's our best shot at survival. Intimidate does nothing. Mismagius is not going to be dipping into its physical attack here. Dazzling Gleam, that's a fairy-type move. Okay. We don't resist that, but we don't take that much damage from it. It's going to probably use Shadow Ball here. I still think based on that damage we took, we tank that just fine. It'll get a 50% damage boost because of same type attack bonus, a ghost type with a mono ghost type. Let's see what she does here. She's just going to stick to spamming Dazzling Gleam. I don't trust this for a second, though. I have a feeling she's just trying to lead us into a false sense of security. I'm going to go for the bite and see where it takes us. We'll also check how fast we are. Okay. Seems like we're okay. We go ahead and bite here, and that's enough to knock her out. Okay, we survived Fantina. Oh, it was a crit, no wonder. So anyway, I was saying, so Gen 4 introduced berries that basically are a one-time automatically used item that reduces a super effective move. It halves the damage of a super effective move, so basically makes it normally effective. It only works once, but that can be a make or break situation a lot out of the time, especially in competitive.
You are so fantastically strong. I know now why I have lost.
Well, thank you for your money, and you know what? Your hair has grown on me, and that is a really weird thing to say out of context, but I kind of like the weird windpipe things growing out of her head. I don't know. Maybe one day they'll open up and a beautiful butterfly will come out of each of them, or a horrifying moth.
I am dumbfounded. So very, very strong, you and your Pokemon team. Your power is admirable. I shall honor it with this gym badge.
Okay, it's not even close to what was in the background of the. I thought the stained glass might be the same shape as her badge, but nope, not even close. Kind of looks like her hair, but there were only 3 purples. They needed to have 4 on each, one on each corner of the circle. Circles don't have corners. What am I saying? We got the relic badge, and now we can use the hidden move Surf from our Poketch.
Take these technical machines too. I know you'll make good use of them.
And those are not technical machines. Those are stickers, but thanks. TM65. Let's see. What is that? It's not Shadow Ball, so it's probably Shadow Claw. So that's a decent physical ghost type move, but it's not that strong.
A very startling move it is. It hits turn critical often.
Or maybe they modified the base damage. Let me actually check that. It's not like we're going to be giving that to Star Gecko because he does not have any physical attack whatsoever to speak of. Let's see. Where's Shadow Claw? I want to see because I'm pretty sure it used to be base 60 or 65 in terms of damage. I guess it's probably at the bottom right. Yeah. Oh, it's base 70 now. That's not terrible, but no one on our team can learn it. I would have expected Captain Squawk to kind of be able to learn it, but or even Pine Tree because they have claws, but fair enough. Surf, on the other hand, we will gladly go ahead and teach that immediately to Manny the Dude Buster. One, because it is a really strong water type move. Base 90 power, 100 accuracy, and it's a spread move much in the same way as Earthquake. But comparing it to Muddy Water, it has the same base power, but we no longer have to deal with that really frustrating 15% chance of missing. Granted, I will give Muddy Water its credit where it's due. It did not miss a single time while we had it. But I, again, have effectively a PTSD from my childhood of that move always misses.
5 gym badges, but you must not forget this. There are many other trainers. Strong trainers, too. There are many more in Sinnoh. Have patience. You must become stronger one at a time.
Oh, trust me, I think I proved that at the start of this gym, so considering the entire episode is your gym, that I have plenty of patience when it comes to fighting other trainers. But it gave me a good chance to ramble about open world games and some of the interests that might eventually happen on this channel. Right now I'm casually playing through the Return of the Obra Dinn, and that will end up being on this channel at some point. I have fun ideas with that, but when that shows up, will probably be at some point in between the Pokemon series. I'll pause in the middle of the playthrough a little bit, upload the full Obra Dinn playthrough, and then go back to Pokemon after that. I mean, if you look at the viewership on this channel, it's very clear that not a lot of people aside from Kiwi are watching the Pokemon playthroughs, and that's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what they're for. They're for Kiwi. Have you not seen the name of the channel? But I shouldn't use viewership as a metric for what I want to play, and I've very much decided that. I'm playing Hades because I love playing Hades, and I'm good at it.
I'm so glad to see you. You're not very easy to track down. My grandma told me about what took place in Celestic Town. Thanks for what you did by the ruins. But that Team Galactic, I thought they were just a bunch of eccentrics. You know, talking about how they're going to make a new universe and all. I, Lord Frieza, will be the only ruler of the universe. And that weird way they dress too, I thought they were harmless. They should be like me, who's entirely naked. It appears as if they're a lot more trouble than I thought. I mean, stealing and hoarding Pokemon, that's just plain wrong. By the way, did you find the ruins interesting at all? If you did, you may want to visit the library in Canalave City. Canalave City. It's a city, go to it. They have some ancient books there that you might find interesting. It may also be of help to the completion of your Pokédex. I think you ought to go there. Okay, bye-bye for now.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
All right, Kiwi, I feel like that's probably a good ending point for this episode. Let's go ahead and just check the town map and see which way we're headed. So Canalave City, or Canalave. Oh, it's okay, so it's all the way over here. Sheesh, that's a lot of backtracking. Well, not really. We'll just fast travel to Jubilife City, I suppose. We're probably at the point where it might be worth using a Poké Center charge. We have not actually used the Poké Center in a very long time. I don't think I'm going to yet. We still have a lot of mons with full PP. Pine Tree, for example, can go lead. Or we could go back to using Celestabetha for a bit. Yeah, why don't we toss Celestabetha out front to celebrate her newfound evolution. Newfound power. Anyone played Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and you were just leveling up your skill tree non-stop, and you just heard the phrase, newfound power, a newfound power, a newfound, over and over again. Oh my goodness. Overall, I think the sound and design in that game is fairly phenomenal, but I will acknowledge its weakness in only having 1 to 2 voice lines per character per skill tree level up. That was a tad painful, I have to say.
Route 218 up ahead is a great fishing hole that's almost unknown to people.
Oh, okay, I remember this place. It's where we I think we got our good rod here, or rather our old rod. But this is where we caught Samurai Jack. I remember now. Yeah, we caught Samurai Jack out on after fishing here for ages. Well, on the bright side, at least we can now actually explore some waterways. But I think, why don't we end it there, Kiwi? I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I look forward to sharing so many more games and various experiences with you. It's just nice to have someone to share so many things with and get to enjoy them together. Anyway, I love you, Kiwi. I'll see you in the next one. Sleep well.